Welcome to the Bite-Sized Brilliance Podcast. I'm your host, April Darley, and today we're going to talk about shifts and how that can benefit you, even if it drags you kicking and screaming along the way. So, recently we've had Mercury retrograde, we've had some eclipses, and I'm hearing all kinds of things from people about things that have blown up in their lives, have ended, or these new challenges that come up. And when that happens, it's generally an opportunity for us to heal. So if you aren't woo woo, then you may not know that eclipses are like the scissors of fate. So if you have gotten off your path somewhere in life, eclipses come along, cut out what is a distraction or what is a closed chapter that you need to be done with to put you back on the path of your destiny. So isn't that fantastic? But it can look like a complete dumpster fire. It can feel very challenging. It shoves you into the deep end of the pool that you are not equipped for. You don't have your arm floaties. You barely know how to swim. And it just feels like a lot at once. So I get it, my friends. And this can be in any area of your life, just depends on where your natal chart is and where that eclipse fell in that natal chart. But recently for me, I had a little Mercury retrograde snafu, and my TV decided to quit. The picture went out. The sound would play, but no picture. So I hop on, I do some troubleshooting, and I'm not able to fix it. And by that time, it was too late to call the cable company. So the next day, I had a full day of client appointments, still couldn't call. And by the second day, I'm like, you know what? I don't really miss the cable that much. I now have the ability to stream. I just hooked up a spare TV, put on Amazon Prime, and could still rewind, relax and unwind, and all those things because I love TV. It's my emotional support animal. So I love TV. But I didn't know about how easy it would be. And here's how we get into these traps and these patterns where we just get stuck in our comfort zone or stuck in a traditional way of doing things, even though that's not the only option anymore. So, the reason I have cable in the first place is because I live in the country. I took over my parents' house and they didn't have any sort of internet available to them in this area. And it wasn't until 6 months after I moved here that I could even get Starlink, which was a satellite option to even be able to get internet or stream anything at all. So, up until that time, I had to get cable if I wanted to see TV. My parents also love TV, and so they had cable, and so I just took on cable because that's what you do. And it wasn't until this accident, I'm using air quotes, right? This Mercury retrograde snafu that I even went, "Oh, I guess maybe I really don't need this." And I added up all the streaming services that it would be to get my favorite shows, and you know what I found? It was 3 times less than what I was paying for cable. Now, this is not a dig on cable, right? There it's fabulous, and I loved it for what it is, but until Mercury retrograde blew up my TV and forced me to really consider other options, and then Starlink became available into my area. It's this perfect storm of stuff that had to happen before I could pick myself up and go, wait a minute, there might be a better way for me to do things that's more abundant, that's easier or just as easy as my old way of doing things. How fabulous is that? So look at your life. If you're one of the people that felt like eclipses or Mercury retrograde just blew up some stuff for you recently, take a look at what it really did and zoom out on that. Did it knock out something that maybe you don't even really need anymore? Did it knock out a distraction? Did it knock out something that you were spending money on that you don't even really miss anymore? How was it beneficial to you that this change happened? And it kind of maybe it forced you to have it to do something different, like, it forced you to change. And I get it, we're all human. We change kicking and screaming a lot of times. But how easy is it to allow these new pathways to open up for you? Can you choose to do something different? And the answer is yes, my friends. Every single day, the choice is yours. Stay in this same routine, stuck or rut or your comfort zone. But comfort zones are not where growth happens. So it's going to take a lot of courage for you to do something different, to be different, to follow a new pathway that's opened up for you. And you can do it. All right, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of the Bite-Sized Brilliance Podcast. And leave me a review if you feel so inclined. I would love to read your comments and see what is happening in your life. What pathway shifted for you? Until next week, my friends, goodbye.